Greetings, everyone. I'm James Milan, and welcome to this town hall update. I am joined, as always, by our town manager, Sandy Pooler. Hello, Sandy.
Hello, James. Nice to see you.
Yeah, the weeks are flying by. I don't know if it feels that way to you, but I guess hopefully it does.
Thanks.
We have, as always, a number of things to talk about today, including the end of town meeting or the town meeting session, I guess. We have Town Day to talk about. We get to talk about MBTA Communities again, and several other items as well. But where would you like to start?
Well, the first thing I'd just like to do is take a moment to note, commend, and thank our fire department and police department for their coordinated efforts dealing with the fire that we had last week down on Dudley Street. It really destroyed a bike business and a couple other businesses in that building. It was an extensive fire. It went on from 11 p.m. to about 5 a.m. And then the next day they had to go back and suppress it some more. So they did a great job. They kept all the neighboring businesses safe. So I just want to thank them for an excellent job.
Yeah, I've been by that site a few times since then, and you can really see what the devastation looks like, and it's great that they were there and responded in the way that they did. Good way to start today's update, no doubt about it. Another thing to celebrate, of course, is the end of town meeting. It is it's the most important function of the year in many ways, of course, but it also is often grueling for all the participants, I know. So yay that it is done. And what do you have to tell us about it?
Well, very happy that it's done. We had 7 nights of town meeting from 8 to 11 each night. We dealt with 72 articles. Probably the least controversial part was the budget. That sailed through pretty quickly. Arlington, I have to say, does have a reputation for having long town meetings. So I will leave that at that without any further comment. And we're done. And so we move on to all the other business we have to get done.
Great. And speaking of which, and since we've already started with town meeting, let's go to town day.
So Town Day will be September 23rd from 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So it will start a little later than it has in the past. Same location will be right out here on Mass Ave. The street will be closed right in front of Town Hall, and for that whole big block all along here up to past the library and the Unitarian Church and down over to Mill Street. It's a really fun event. I know this year I was very excited to be out at it. It was one of the biggest ones we've had, and I think people were just glad to see each other in public. So bring your family, come on down and enjoy fun with your neighbors. And then that evening there will be fireworks. So
I remember talking to you in the days afterwards for one of these updates, and yeah, you were still jazzed about how that day had gone, and it was so
yeah.
beautiful, the weather, et cetera. So let's just fingers crossed that we get more of the same this year.
Yep.
Moving on, what is happening at Hurd Field that people need to know about?
We're reopening it, all renovated. It is officially called the Walter G. Hurd Field. Walter, or when he was a kid here in Arlington, was known as Wally, and he was one of 9 Hurds that played together on a baseball team. The field is right next to the res. We've completely renovated it, put in new drainage, lighting, batting cages. There are picnic tables and benches. There's an accessible path that leads from Hurd Field up toward the path that goes around the res. We've also made some improvements with planting and drainage around Mill Brook. This was a big project undertaken by the Parks and Recreation Commission, the Recreation Department, in particular Joe Connolly, who really did a great job leading this. It was funded by CPA. We worked together also with the Conservation Commission, and the public had a lot of input in it. So we have an opening ceremony on Thursday, the 25th at 5:30. It'll be a short event. We'll have a few public officials And then to really take advantage of the field, there'll be a youth baseball and softball league game at 6 o'clock. So come on out and watch the kids play.
Excellent. And we are nearing the end of May, and that means, of course, the unofficial or official, who knows, start of summer, which begins on Memorial Day weekend. What's going on in town around Memorial Day?
Well, we will have our annual Memorial Day celebration. It will start here at Town Hall. Doors will open at 9 a.m. on Monday, the 29th. There'll be a ceremony at 9:30. Following that ceremony, there'll be a procession from Town Hall to Mount Pleasant Cemetery for a wreath laying and at the Veterans Burial Lots. So we'll be celebrating, I think, both our fallen service members, our Gold Star families, and the real history that the town of Arlington has associated with Memorial Day, and for all the things that people fought for during, starting with the Civil War. So I think a very good and moving event.
Just a couple more things to talk about. One very familiar to our audiences over these last months, and that is MBTA Communities. Tell us about that, please.
Well, we're kicking off an event on June 8th at the Community Center up there in the big room on the second floor. It is one in which we're inviting the public to come and join and discuss the first draft of an MBTA zoning map, where our planning department has just outlined parts of town that might be eligible for MBTA zoning designations. Those are areas in which building multifamily housing can be done as of right. So we'll present the map, and we'd love to hear people's feedback. This is an important part of the process early on, to hear what people have to say. So again, Thursday, June 8th from 7:30 to 9 p.m. at the Community Center.
Okay, far from the last update you will have for us about MBTA communities, but thanks for that. Last but for sure not least is National Public Works Week, which is next week, I assume?
Yes, May 20. Well, it's actually May 21st through 27th. I have to say, before I was town manager, I didn't know that there was a National Public Works Week, but now I do. I certainly know, however, and have known for a long time, the great work that our Public Works Department staff does. If you drive down the street, if you use water from a faucet or through a toilet, or take advantage of our parks, or walk down our sidewalks, or do any number of things that are just fundamental to living in town, you have the Public Works Department to thank for all those efforts. So just a good time to celebrate them. If you see a Public Works worker out there, you might say thank you.
Excellent. All right, I think that may cover things, but let me ask you, as I always do, whether there's anything else you'd like to mention.
No, I think we've covered the full gamut this time. So thank you, James.
Yes, a quick count would say there's 7 topics or so that we just covered. So well done, and appreciate again your time as always, Sandy. I have been speaking with Sandy Pooler. He is our town manager, and I get to say that for a little while longer. I am James Milan. This is the Town Hall Update. We really do appreciate Sandy's time and yours as well. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.